Hello. My name is Allison Brantley, and I wrote something, and I realized everybody's improvising, so I'm going to do my best. Bingham is responsible for basically championing me like he championed his films, to Carrie Brokaw, to help me make my escape from Miramax films. And I'm forever grateful to him for that. And with that transition, we brought in Jim Sheridan's second film, which was never called anything other than in the most Irish brogue we could muster, you know, with a tilt of the head. The feed. We would always talk about the feed. And it got them an Oscar nomination with Claudia Lewis and Alex Madigan and Yale Popowich and Carrie Brokaw and Pat Murray. We were a formidable team, albeit for a short period of time. I had the great pleasure and blessing to spend the last 2 months in San Francisco getting phone calls, texts, working on a party for Bingham. We in San Francisco, which is where I live now, were ecstatic. He was going to re-energize the film community there, as only the people standing in this room really would know. And a lot of our friends who didn't thought we lost it. But Tom Luddy and Gary Meyer and all the people up there that I know you know, we're just thrilled. And we share your loss so much. But as sad as it is, I have to say he really has created such a community of people. I hope we can go on together. I like to think of Bingham as that American hero. You know, some people have compared him to Jimmy Stewart. I like to think of him as Humphrey Bogart. He liked Joseph Cotton, I guess. But what I really feel was he had that chutzpah, but he was a true American who also had just that touch of morality that we all wish there was maybe just a little more of in the world. He made living a passionate, honest life really inspirational. And for that, he makes me want to get back in the world and do what I love. Thank you, Bingham. Keep close to all these people. We really, really love you and always will. And to do a little reverse on the old adage, here's looking at you, kid.
Cedar and Fox.
Hi, my name is Cedar and Fox, and Allison Brantley hired me for my first job in the film business. I read for her at Miramax, and during the stint that I enjoyed in the independent film world, developing projects, I was lucky to I didn't have a trust fund, so I had a voice career, which has been my, sustaining thing. And I have two stories about Bingham. The first one, we were on our way to Cannes in England, and my producing partners are English, and we were at a big dinner with Bobby Rock, and it came up. I'd always kept my film producing and my voiceover career separate, and when Bobby found out that I did voiceovers, he was the most excited I've ever seen him. Trailer man. He has a whole persona that many of you might not know. He actually believed in his heart of hearts that he was Trailer Man, and if he had lived longer, he may well have been. The other thing is how many people were at the dark parties in Toronto? So, at that dark party, Sarah Rose introduced me to my husband, and those dark parties, that particular dark party changed my life. So I just want to encourage all of you to come up and talk, because it feels good to, even though it's a little scary, to come up here and say, Bingham, I love you, I miss you. It feels good to honor him in that way. So, who's next?
Dear encouragement, Senior, maybe I'll be able to talk. Anyhow, when you look around the room here, of course, you see how Karen said to me earlier this afternoon, what is death? And I talked about how we all kind of can live on, and obviously movies, the spirit of people like Bingham help us live on. And what Bingham meant to all of us in so many ways. So if you're into it, I'm going to tell a little film festival epic story with Bingham of the Toronto Film Festival. This is a pretty good one. It's a classic tale. Involves quite a few people. I got involved with Donna Deach, the director of Desert Hearts, and I actually stayed at her place at 29 Paloma during production, and then Bingham moved in by the time I was at Post, so I had moved somewhere else. And we were up in Telluride with Desert Hearts, and I got involved with one of the actors in the film at Telluride. Like, it's just kind of one of those things that happen. And Donna Deach, even though we were, I'm sitting with her and Bingham and everything, and Roger Ebert for dinner, and it's all great, started to get a little jealous, and cut to 4 days later, all in Toronto, not jealous. She was like, wait a second, why aren't you? We're at this dinner with Bingham, Donna, Ellen, who's the actress, and there's Godard, and, Werner Herzog, and, Mike Lee, all the maniacs in Toronto, one of those years, all these great directors are there. And Donna starts saying, how can you possibly be involved with this actress? And I go, Donna, the fucking movie's over. We're doing great. All this stuff. And Bingham's kind of jumping up, doing, Godard's taking notes, all of them was, the dialogue was so rich. Bingham says, let's get the fuck out of here. So we go, and in those days, Helga was running one of the vintage years of Toronto. Remember the after-hours joint they ran? Not at the Park Plaza at the 12th floor, when they had the Jamaican thing over there that you can still go to the 4 in the morning because they wanted. This is the film festival stuff, the Ash Can or whatever it's called. And so there we are, and Ira Deutschman's there with us and everything. On the way over in the cab, my ID had spilled out of my wallet. And so all of a sudden 30 bobbies or constables come marching into place. And they kind of separate us all out. And they say, who are you? And I go, I'm Jeff Dowd. And they say, show us your ID, and I don't have my ID. And Bingham gets up and goes, no, this is Jeff Dowd. I know him a long time, et cetera, et cetera. And then Ira shows it and says, yeah. He says, well, let me see your ID. And Ira shows him his ID, and the cops arrest Ira because he's the one with fucking ID. And Bingham keeps there talking to the cops. So you pick up Variety the next morning, front page, and what I'm trying to say, there's a little bit of a mad hand behind how this came down in this moment was Ira Deutschmann arrested, who's the head of Synecon at that point. Ira Deutschmann arrested on morals charges in Toronto. Didn't say what it was, sheep, farmers and all that. Anyhow, a little bit of kind of, that was, kind of part of the story of Desert Hearts. It was, Fear and Loathing in film festivals with Bingham and Anyhow, the spirit goes on. Just to look around how we're all part of it.